Today, COROS released the all-new PACE 4, and I've been testing it for a couple of weeks now, and in this review, we're going to go over all the details, the accuracy, the battery life, much more. Let's get right to it. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I do want to let you know that COROS sent the PACE 4 to me to test and review, and they're not telling me anything to say. Like always, I'm going to give you my completely honest opinion about the watch. And if you're interested in purchasing the PACE 4 after this video, please consider using my affiliate link down in the description. Won't cost you a cent more, but it will help support the channel, and that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Well, let's get right to the pricing of the PACE 4. It is available today, and you can order it for $249 US. And you can see the price in other markets around the world as well. While that is $20 more than the PACE 3 was at launch, I hope by the end of this video you'll see that it's probably well worth it. And at the time of launch, it's going to be available in the black color like I have here, and also a white. Well, inside of the box, you're going to get the PACE 4 here, obviously the watch, and you're also going to get the 22mm quick release band. Now that band is actually a two-tone. There are two different colors. On the white, you can see it a lot better. There's a white, when then the inner part is kind of a grayish color, and you can sort of see it on the black a little bit, but on the band, they are using that same push pin style clasp like they used on the Apex 4 and then also the Nomad. However, it is shaped a little bit differently on the PACE 4 here. Also, I should note that the 22mm quick release band on the PACE 4 is compatible with other bands from COROS that are 22mm, or any 22mm band really out there. And then also inside the box, you're going to get this little keychain USB-C A2 charger, and then there's also the little, paper pamphlet thingies that nobody ever reads. A big update over the PACE 3 is the PACE 4 now has what they call a 2.5D AMOLED display. The display is a lightweight mineral glass, and where that 2.5D name comes from is the tapered edges of the screen. It's really hard to see on camera, but now as you swipe your finger across, it's really a smooth, good experience for swiping, basically. The display is 1.2 inches in size with 390 by 390 resolution, which is actually 164% greater resolution than was on the PACE 3, and it's only slightly smaller than on the PACE Pro. The PACE 4 has a max brightness of 1500 nits, and you can actually adjust that from a standard, high, or a max setting. But for me, I leave it on the high setting, and it's been plenty bright. For comparison here, you can see the display differences between the COROS PACE 3, the PACE Pro, and the PACE 4 here. Notice how the MIP display of the PACE 3 is always on, where the AMOLED displays of the PACE Pro and the PACE 4, you actually have to raise your wrist to kind of wake them up, or push a button. Another nice feature of that bright 1.2-inch display is now there is a awesome flashlight mode, and this is adjustable. You can increase it or decrease the brightness as well. Really handy for if you're going to get up early in the morning, go inside your closet, need to get dressed, but maybe you have a spouse, a partner, you don't want to wake them up. Plus, there is even a red light SOS mode, which is really nice and handy if you're going to go up into the mountains by yourself or you're with other people. Somebody gets injured, maybe you're stuck there overnight, you can flip that on. If there's a search and rescue team out there, they might see a bright red flashing light. It's just a really cool safety feature. The PACE 4 is 43.4 by 43.4 by 13.6 millimeters thick, and that does include the PPG sensor, the heart rate sensor on the back as well, which is just a little bit bigger than the PACE 3, but it is smaller than the PACE Pro. With the included 22mm quick release silicone band, my PACE 4 weighed in at 39 grams, which is incredibly lightweight and nearly the same as the PACE 3. When I'm wearing the PACE 4 on my 16cm circumference wrist, it is incredibly comfortable, lightweight. It's honestly probably one of the lightest and most comfortable watches I have worn, and even when sleeping, I don't notice the watch. The bezel and casing of the PACE 4 is a high-strength polyamide, or basically a hardened plastic material, and it's incredibly lightweight, and that's where a lot of that weight savings comes from. I've been wearing the PACE 4 now for about 2 weeks in the gym, lifting weights, heavy weights. I've been running, I've been doing all sorts of activities with this, and it looks great. I don't see any scratches or scuffs to any of the materials at all. So I think for most of the targeted users for the PACE 4 here, it should be plenty durable. The PACE 4, after all, is marketed as kind of a road running or a cyclist triathlon type watch. It's for those that want very accurate data, but incredibly lightweight, comfortable platform. The button layout on the PACE 4 is the same as on the COROS Nomad and the Apex 4 now, with the digital crown at the top right, and then below that you have the back or the lap button, and then on the lower left side is the action button, and then of course course, also the screen is a touch screen. You can tap it as well. And you can even customize the action button or the back and lap button during an activity. You can set it to switch view. You can set it to add a voice pin or a pin. It's a pretty handy feature. Inside of the Pace 4 is the Ambiq Apollo 510 processor, and that is the same processor COROS has used now in the Apex 4, the COROS Nomad, and also the Pace Pro watch. And it is an incredibly fast processor. There's virtually no lag whatsoever when scrolling between the different data fields, or it may be you're scrolling through your activity menus. It is just a very smooth experience. Another new feature on the Pace 4 is the microphone, and you can use that for things like adding a voice pin during an activity. Maybe you want to note that there was a creek or something like that along your route, or maybe you're in a city, you want to note that there's a water fountain where you can fill up your bottles. And then also after the run, you can use that microphone to enter what's now a training log. The training log is a great way to enter exactly how you felt after the run. Like, it's fresh in your mind, you just finished, you enter your perceived effort, the little smiley face icon, and then you can enter a training log and you just speak into the microphone. It's right here, and it's really handy to relay information to your coach. If your coach uses the COROS training hub or the coaching hub, it will actually show up to them. COROS did tell us that they're actually looking at seeing how they could possibly send that same data to other platforms, maybe like Training Peaks, but it's not something that they're currently doing yet. Now, it should be noted though that this is not the same dual microphone with the noise reduction setup like on the Nomad. It is just a single microphone on the right side, kind of the 3 o'clock position on the watch. As for the audio quality of that single microphone, it's actually, I think, pretty good. Great run with my wife on the new Santa Fe Trail. A little chilly, I was wearing gloves, but overall, everything felt good. No issues with the hip. It was comfortable and easy pace, low heart rate. Good run. As you can see from this training log note here, the transcription, it automatically does that in the app, was spot on. Everything was correct. It was great. As for GPS tracking on the Pace 4, they use the max GPS mode, which is their highest setting, their dual frequency GPS mode, basically. And then there's also the high GPS mode, which is the all systems on. Now, these are the only 2 GPS modes available on the Pace 4. The GPS accuracy on the Pace 4 is pretty great as well. If you take a look at this activity, you can see the Pace 4 and the COROS Apex 4 were both in the max dual frequency GPS setting. You can see both GPS tracks look pretty good overall. However, there were actually a couple of places where the Pace 4 GPS track looked a little bit off course, but overall, the Apex 4 does appear to be a little bit tighter of a line. However, 99% of the route was perfect with the Pace 4. The optical heart rate sensor on the Pace 4 also received an upgrade, and it is the same sensor that's on the COROS Nomad and the Apex 4, which has larger LEDs and larger photo detectors. The Pace 4 also has the newer upgraded internal changes to the blood oxygen sensor, so it should be a little more accurate in that regard as well. As for the heart rate accuracy on the Pace 4, it appears to be incredibly accurate in my testing against the COROS Apex 4, which, by the way, I tested the COROS Apex 4 against the COROS armband, the one that goes around your bicep, and it was incredibly accurate, so it's a good baseline. And you can see overall on these activities here, the heart rate appears to be very accurate. It does not appear to be any crazy deviations or spikes. It's really pretty darn good. And also, just to note, the Pace 4 does not have an ECG sensor like is found on the Apex 4. So the Pace 4 does use the PPG or the optical heart rate sensor on the back for all of your HRV readings. The battery life on the Pace 4 is really pretty awesome, and it even increases over the Pace Pro. In daily use as a smartwatch, COROS claims you can get up to 19 days. And I gotta say, that's pretty darn accurate. When I first got the watch, it had 73% battery life on it. I used it probably about 10 days before I charged it, and I was doing some activities, running, lifting, and just getting my notifications, sleeping with it on, and it had, I think it was down to about 33% by the time I charged it. So that seems pretty accurate to me. As for the activity battery life, in max GPS mode, you can get up to 31 hours in an activity. In high GPS mode, you can get up to 41 hours in an activity. And as you can see, the Pace 4 battery life increased 16 hours compared to the Pace 3 and 3 hours over the Pace Pro when in the high GPS mode. So even though the Pace 4 is marketed as kind of a road running cycling watch, this has plenty of battery life for us crazy trail and ultra runners as well. And if you take a look at this comparison chart here, you can see all the ways the Pace 4 has improved over the Pace 3 and Pace Pro. And it should be noted that as you see here on this chart, the Pace 4 still does not have any mapping capabilities or navigation. It only uses the breadcrumb trail navigation. Now this is due to a storage limitation on the Pace 4 as it only has 4 gigabytes of internal storage, but you can use that for things like putting your MP3s onto the watch, pair some headphones to it, and you can listen to music while you're on your runs. Another cool new feature to all of the COROS watches out there now, but definitely on the Pace 4, is activity cropping. Have you ever done a race or maybe a training run and you forget to stop your watch at the end? And then you have this long GPS track of you driving in your car on the way home. Well, now you can edit that. You can go in and change the end point, the start point. You can edit that so you get the activity that you need. And for you ladies out there, COROS wearables and the app can now help you monitor your menstrual cycle. Now this data here is from my wife, but if you take a look, you can actually scroll down in your daily view and just click on the menstrual cycle. You start by adding your typical cycle length as well as your period length. And then each month you can input when your period actually starts and then when it stops. And over time, the app will learn and adjust based on you. And as you can see, the app gives you some pretty cool information about what you may be able to expect during each phase of the cycle. Like here during the menstrual phase, it says that your HRV may increase. Fatigue and discomfort obviously might increase as well, but it does this through each phase. It gives the user predictions about when the next phase in the cycle may start, and then the user can also input different symptoms or things like your mood or your cervical mucus as well for better tracking. However, if you want the most accurate data about when your luteinizing hormone is actually at its peak, then you should actually test that. Now, I just completed a coaching specialization course in ovarian hormone profiles in sport. Now, I'm not trying to mansplain here.
Sounds like it was mansplaining to you.
Yeah, totally.
But if you want the most accurate data, like that course said, you should test, don't guess. The course I took said that menstrual cycle tracking apps are really just educated guesses. And if you want the most accurate data, you really need to test it with the luteinizing hormone strips and then also a blood test. So that's just an FYI. Take it or leave it. Well, overall, I think the COROS Pace 4 here is an amazing value watch. For $250, you get a really accurate GPS and heart rate tracking watch, an incredibly lightweight and comfortable form factor, plus really awesome battery life that's great enough for us ultra runners. So if you were looking for a new watch to help you in your marathon training block, or maybe you're a trail runner as well, then I can highly recommend the COROS Pace 4. Now, like I said earlier, if this video was helpful to you about the Pace 4, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That would be awesome. And also consider using my affiliate link, like I mentioned, it's down in the description below. Now, what feature are you the most excited about on the Pace 4? Be sure to let me know below in the comments. I'm really curious to see your thoughts. Another great new watch from COROS is the Apex 4, perfect for those that want mapping capabilities and maybe a little bit more durability if you're going to be up in the mountains. Take a look at that full review on your screen right over there. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to COROS for sending the Pace 4 as well. I'll see you all in the next one.